What if miscommunication doesn't exist at all? Hi, I'm Nick, former medical doctor turned soul doctor, having healed from my lifelong asthma and suicidal depression. And I'm saying it this way because I want to embrace the controversy that's there. What if there isn't actually miscommunication? And the biggest place I have it is with immediate family, with people I work closely with my significant other, with my child. And what I'm recognizing is that I've had patterns growing up of how I'm supposed to listen. And a lot of it was for the actual words, reading, and the literality of it all, when I actually know that often I'm saying one thing and meaning another. I am not saying things that I really know I should say. And if I am doing that, everyone else is doing it too. And then I have been in the political game before. I was elected Model Youth Parliament Premier of my province, and it was a shit show because I couldn't understand that people were dragging me down things that made zero sense at all. And I was engaging because I was engaging in what I thought was good faith, but was just engaging in the patterns that I had. People were laughing at me because they're like, this guy's an idiot. And I was, and I am. I think a lot of miscommunication is because we're willing to stick to our patterns rather than open up our mind, body, and soul to listening differently. Whether it's listening with the unconscious, whether it's listening to the body language, whether it's listening to our own body talking to us, whether it's listening to the other impulsive signals, whether it's just stepping away from the conversation. And forgetting that we always speak a different language. As much as I may speak English, someone else may speak English, aside from the fact that there's UK English, Australian English, Canadian English, American English, all these different kinds, fresh off the boat English, there's also the fact that we all came from different backgrounds. Words mean different things. Words are just symbols, and the symbols are imprecise. And if we look at it that way, then all the miscommunication comes back to the lack of curiosity, the lack of being willing to be with the experiment of communication. Communication is always an experiment. Even my beloved and I yesterday were talking about how we miscommunicate. I realized that a lot of the times my deepest communication comes the moment the big decision is actually in front of us, which stresses then out my partner because why didn't I say it in all the moments before the big decision? And I realized, oh, sometimes we want to step into it maybe a little sooner. Maybe I push myself into the big decisions to see what's actually there. And I've learned that from someone else who said, oh, I don't know until I'm actually there. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm similar to that. Sometimes I think I know, but I don't know until then. And other people look at life totally differently. They have things planned out already. And then how am I willing to invest the time, energy, space towards letting go of the old miscommunications to be with the present communication, to be with the future communication, especially for those that I love, I'm going to spend a lot of time with. And how do I let go of the miscommunication that can happen with acquaintances, with people I just meet, instead of trying to fully understand them, which is way more enticing in a way because it has less emotional residue, less baggage, less all that stuff, but also less clout, unless it's going to be a relationship I really want to develop. And so miscommunication is happening all the frickin' time. And I'm getting better now. When I listen to a politician, I'm not listening to their words, I'm also listening to what they're doing, what's actually happening, what the controversy is saying, what they're actually speaking to. Sometimes they're speaking to the people that are going to highlight the negative because they know it's going to pick up. Okay. And then instead of listening to them as if they're speaking almighty truth that people are holding and living by their words, it's now recognizing so many people are not living by their words, and that's okay. That's okay. How many of our rules have come up because we so want it just to be in the language of the law and nobody reads the terms and conditions anymore? It's a living joke. We all know it. All the legal jargon is a living joke until it affects you. And then we spend so much time, energy, and resources to argue these little points, which we know are not the intent of what we really want as a society, as a collective. And then part of the point of embracing this current time of crisis is to really break out of some of these cycles, to be the heretics, to say, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. policing on the language, and let's actually police the things that matter. I don't want heinous crimes to be happening. I don't want child trafficking. I don't want murder. I don't want unnecessary death like that. I don't want dis-ease. I don't want pure destruction like that. But do I really care that something gets pirated a little bit? Do I really care that something ... happens? No. And how do we shift our priorities again without making me, I'm not trying to be the arbiter of truth, but I'm willing to speak this piece, to bring up the questions, to bring up the noodling so we can actually start communicating again. And especially with our loved ones, every time we're like, we've been here before, I'm holding on to the miscommunications. I'm holding on to the patterns. I'm mirroring what my parents didn't do. I could spend my whole life blaming them or thanking them for the gift of getting here and using the wisdom to shift the patterns now. Miscommunication isn't reality. It's just our interpretation. Ciao for now.